tweeting. Oh, I forgot to include Doom's tag, whatever. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get this game started. This is a best of 3 series spawning here in the lower left corner of the map. It's going to be the Green Zerg, Tefel.
In the upper right, formerly of the Slayers clan. In the light blue trunks, he just qualified for GSL Code A, made it through Code B, the most grueling tournament in the world. He is none other than Arthur.
Yeah, I mean, that is quite the achievement. I mean, if you need to notch something on your StarCraft belt, that's definitely pretty much like the biggest notch. Next to actually, I guess, being a champion.
That's like pulling the sword from the stone, man.
No, what he's done is he's pulled the hilt off. Now he needs to put the hilt back on and pull the full sword out as he becomes the champion.
That sounds impossible.
Well, a lot of things sound impossible, dude.
I'm impressed you know that it's called a hilt.
What do you expect me to be? Like some guy who plays all these fantasy games and not know what a hilt is? Like, come on,
that's true.
Be realistic.
That's true.
Alright, well, this might be a PvZ, guys, but you know what? This is going to be one of the higher quality PvZs we're going to have the luxury of casting, I'm telling you right now. As again, as Doom said, Arthur is qualified into Code A, and he's also just all around an amazing player. We've seen him in Zotac plenty of times. He's here for EU. He's here for NA. This guy is all over the place. So it's really nice seeing him here today.
Yeah, sometimes he plays a little cheesy. So, I mean, I don't expect him to see him do anything really crazy in ZVP on Daybreak, but he could potentially do something cheeky where he makes a bunch of gateways and hits really fast. It is going to be his Nexus first, followed up by the Forge, of course, completely standard in the matchup, but didn't make a pylon to block the hatch of Tefel or anything like that, so it's going to go up okay, unscathed here for him as he's getting his first queen out.
It's funny because I mean, like I was just talking about it a game ago, where you've got players at that higher level who just they don't even bother. Ooh, speaking of cheeky, he's gonna hide the probe for now. I don't think he'll be putting a pylon down anytime soon. Not unless he could get warp gate up before this probe gets discovered. But as I was saying, like a lot of players at the pro level, they just don't value that extra 10 to 15 seconds or the minerals lost that it would take to basically block it for a bit longer. So I don't know. It's not the biggest difference in the world, but it's still. I mean, 10 seconds. It's larva denied. It's slightly less mining. It's not a huge deal, mind you, but it is questionable whether it's effective or not to put a pylon and cancel it or not.
Also comes down to personal preference. How much do you actually want to devote that micro to running around over there when you can be doing other things at home, making sure your cannons and gateways are all going down at the same time, and the cannon has finished up at home. Overlord has been driven out. And this is going to, move into what we've been seeing all day here. Very early 3 hatcheries. Tefel getting that, of course, at around 4:20, 4:30 time. Does he have 2 queens out now? No, 2 queens out. Just a single queen out here for Tefel. Oh, no, he does have 2 queens out. Okay. One was hiding amongst the drones in there.
A cheeky bugger, if you will.
One of these things is not like the other. No.
Well, Tefel is searching around for pylons right now. He does not want to be caught off guard.
Being proactive about it.
Yeah, very smart. There's nothing worse than just kind of getting into a rhythm and realize, like, oh, great. There's a pylon behind the mineral lines at my third, or, whatever. But that probe has still gone unscouted, Doom, which I am finding awesome.
I like it. Because what you can see is, like, 4 zealots just immediately popping up in the back of your base.
2 minutes.
Like, did he get a warp prism up back there?
Yeah, 2 minutes warp gate will be done. Well, sooner if he puts a ton of chronos on it. But if if this goes unscouted, we will definitely see a pylon come out of Arthur and kind of shock Tefel, I guess.
Open with Stargate here, Rifkin. This is interesting. We saw a player earlier today try to go for this, but have to cancel it very early. But this is going to be up much quicker than it would be otherwise, because it's coming immediately after the gate, immediately after warp gate research has gone down. 2 additional gases are going to go down for Arthur in his natural as well. And is it going to be Phoenixes? Is it going to be Void Rays? I'm thinking it's probably going to be a Void Ray followed by Phoenixes.
Really, I would be interested to see that.
That's my call, man.
Nope.
That's my call.
Denied.
All right.
That's okay, because you know what?
Void Ray out.
Well, you know what? You know the difference between the 2 units, though. I don't. So you've got that going for you. My camera's on you for just a second. I'll check this. Cluckoose, thank you. Actually, kindly has linked the Team Liquid profiles of both these players. That is, in fact, Tefel and Arthur.
Awesome.
So props and cheers, dude, on doing that. Now we've got more gates coming down in the back. That probe has still gone unscouted, though. Dude, I don't know. How is this? The Overlords are even here. Like, he's almost seen it. Now, this queen is going to try and fight the Stalker. The Stalker will, of course, have to run away. The Zerglings are coming to protect it. And, this Overlord, oh my god.
Just a lucky
Arthur,
dial,
okay, there we go. Pilot coming down. Arthur probably sitting here like, can't believe that he's gotten away with it.
Pixels in the shade, Rifkin.
Well, the thing is, too, look at this. Yeah, he's drawing all the Zerglings out. All the Zerglings are chasing this one Stalker. There's nothing going to be at home. A Zealot Warpin is going to do so much damage. Oh my god.
He's also got 3 Phoenixes on the way, too. I mean, Hydralisk Den now going down for Tefel.
He sees it! Arthur can see the Hydra Den from where his probe is.
Man, everything is going good for Arthur.
Okay, Hydra's actually a really good choice. There's nothing better to deal with Phoenixes than having Hydras on the field. Not to mention they're a huge part of the army composition now for Zerg. Ever since Infested Terran suffered so many of those nerfs.
And Rifkin, look, the Phoenixes have moved into third base here. They're going to pick off Overlords. They have potential to get drones and Queens as well. But now that pylon's up at the main base, will Arthur actually go for some type of counter pressure? Everything is pulled all around the map, as you were mentioning before. Ling Speed's done 7 Hydras on the way.
Still no Warpins at the main. I'm trying to keep an eye on that happening. Now, we do actually have the Void Ray. Doom, you were right, just wrong order. We do have the Void Ray coming out next. And Arthur with some very clutch force fields there, keeping his base alive. Now, we do have Zealots finally warped into the main. And Tefel's got to be like, how? How? Where? What? Why?
Queens are falling at the third base too. Rifkin, the third one is going to drop. Hydra's going to swarm in at the third, and are they going to take out the Phoenixes? No, great micro here from Arthur. He's continuing to micro with 2 fronts here in the main and at the third base.
Yeah, drones have been pulled left, right. They got to figure out what's going on. There he goes. The drones are retreating. Do reveal what's up. Cheeky bugger. More Zealots coming in too.
Overlords continue to drop. Hydras continue to get picked off one by one.
I would have loved to have had 3 Zealots in 1 Sentry and just force field off that ramp rather than 4 Zealots.
You know, force field would have do pretty well here, but
a
look,
force
he's
field
just got too many numbers, man.
When do you ever see Hydralisk kite something? This is stutter step coming from Hydralisks. I'm sitting here with a big what?
You're gonna see it a lot more in Heart of the Swarm, that's for sure.
That's for sure, off creep too. But on creep, in Wings Delivery, same speed as Heart of the Swarm, and it's freaking fast. Yeah, these Phoenixes are going to be chased off for now. There's just too many Hydras here to deal with, and that pylon is finally being cleaned up. And Arthur, I imagine, has got to be sitting there with a smile on his face going like, I can't believe I got away with that.
That was really good for Arthur. He's got 11 workers killed in total during the duration of that attack.
Not to mention almost every single queen on the map.
He's also kept the Zerg player actually 3 bases.
There's no queens on the map right now. They're just getting rebuilt. And that's really going to stint the larva production.
That's going to hamper it immensely, Rifkin. And the follow-up here from Arthur is to go for Colossus.
Oh, the Void Ray moves into all the Hydralisks. So unfortunately, goes down for nothing. Not a good feeling.
Well, what are you going to do? Make a Spire. It'll make you feel better. Well, no. That's the Zerg response. Yeah. The Protoss is going to go on 2 bases, Rifkin, and he's going to all in the Zerg. That's what's going to happen here.
Well, he does have, yeah, the Thermal Lance is on the way. If there's one thing that's good at dealing with Hydralisk, it is Colossus. Oh, the Phoenixes are going to try and get back in here for some more action. Can he get another Queen?
Spore's going to finish up. Got to be very, very careful. He's just going to
cancel that. Now he's got to be careful. He's going to run into the Hydras. There's even a drone with this composition.
Well, we've got a peculiar situation developing here because it's a Roach Hydra composition up against Colossus composition. And once that Thermal Lance finishes, they'll outrange the Roaches and Hydras pretty much indefinitely here. Groove Spines has finished though, so the Hydras do have a slight increase in the range. And that's going to come into a very large advantage.
Yeah, and Arthur's right now, he's picking up a couple Hydras, not too many. But he's also supply blocked Tefel.
So it's a good feeling. You don't know it's happening, but you can think, I killed enough Overlords here that this has definitely got to be taking this guy off. And look, Tefel's just taking his 4th base now around the 13-minute mark. Has he moved up to Hive yet? No, he has not been able to move up to Hive. Spire has completed though, but he doesn't have an infestation pit anywhere. So, I mean, he's going to be stuck on Lair for the time being. And Arthur has taken his 3rd base though, so I'm a little incorrect in saying that this is a complete all-in, but he's going to start to... he's going to try to make this a very strong push and follow up with just taking his 3rd base to get his economy up behind that.
It's a Protoss build, and I think Protoss builds, period, have more of the word all-in attached to them than any other race, so... you're only maybe partially incorrect, but still, it...
Well, I like what we're seeing out of Arthur here. Yeah, I would probably gonna see a lot more sentries potentially be warped in because being able to block off the map against Hydras and Roaches is just gonna pay so many dividends for him. And has he actually seen this army moving out? No, I see the Phoenixes are sitting over the watchtower, but I don't know if he saw the entire army moving forward.
Well, there's also an
They're
infestation
basically
pit
gonna
up.
assault.
Yeah, and 9 Corruptors on the way now. There's a lot of Stalkers here, sure, and 3 Colossus, but Corruptors with Corruption can do quite a bit of damage very quickly. Not to mention
Or
it
force
enhances the
fields.
Hydrolus damage as well.
See
And
how
this
good the force
base,
fields are. And
oh, this base is gonna be in a lot of trouble too. He's got to catch some of these Hydrolus. He does get a couple, but not too many. But
oh, now,
you know,
now
some's
the
better
Corruptors are
than
gonna be
none.
able to join that army.
And these 2 Phoenixes, unfortunately, are just kind of fancy scouts at this point.
Well, I see the Corruptors on the field. That's good for Arthur to know that he is gonna have to switch into more Stalkers now. And looking at his upgrades, he's got +2 just finishing right now. Chrono boosting out it a little bit slightly. Will he start +3 immediately once that finishes? No. Yes. Okay. He does.
Doom, the man of Protoss today. Now, oh, this army from Tefel is a little out of position as Arthur catches quite a few of the Hydras on the front lines.
Just a few, but the Corruptors are going to move in here and they're going to focus down the Colossus immediately. One is going to be targeted back, and he's microing the Colossus back so they can't engage the Zerg army, but the force fields are good, Rifkin.
Yeah, the Corruptors are going to send everything back.
The Immortals unable to do any damage either.
And Colossus, the Colossus going down is a really big deal because now these Hydras are a big, big threat once more. Immortals, Stalkers, doesn't matter. Hydralists do not care. Their DPS is so high. They're going to shred through everything that Arthur has.
We do have to remember this is only 3 bases for the Zerg player, though. The 4th base is up, but it's not mining right now. So he's on a limited economy, and the Protoss player himself is on 3 bases as well. So it's not an optimal situation for the Zerg. He definitely is in the lead right now.
No, his upgrades are lacking, and they're lacking pretty hard, Doom. He's got this large Hydralisk composition. He's put so much money into this army, and it's got zero upgrades going for it. Guardian Shield, some +1 armor. I don't know.
Thinking about dividends and how that pays off in the long term, it's definitely looking better for Arthur for a later game. But if Tefel's able to get up a big enough army rift, then can the Protoss actually do anything against a big Broodlord mass?
Well, so far today, none of our Protoss players have really been able to. You really kind of need to mix in a Void Ray or two if you want to have the most effective use without an Archon toilet. As Blink Stalkers are nice, but they're not going to win you the war if your opponent has a ton of Broodlords on the field.
The one thing that's going to play into Tefel's favor is that there's no Colossus, so the Hydras will be pretty decent against this composition. It's a largely just Gateway Immortal composition, and
yeah, if the Stalkers
sure
blink in,
but...
well, if the Stalkers blink in and focus down the Broodlords, the Hydralists will kill them. If they kill the Hydralists, the Broodlords will kill them.
Yeah.
This is a
Arthur's
bit
gotta be
precarious.
so careful here.
Yeah, Tefel with some nice force fields to start, but the Broodlords have arrived. I don't know, dude. Arthur is going to back away for now. He's got the work for some on the front lines. He needs to be able to reinforce this. If he can't fight without reinforcing, he's going to lose.
Well, here we go. He's moving on the ramp. I don't know, though. Can he actually break this?
I don't know. This is very difficult. Arthur... Yeah, I don't know. Arthur's got the tech going for him, the upgrades, everything in that aspect, but I mean, it's just the late game Broodlords combined with a lot of Hydralisks. I don't know. You don't really need Roaches
for Arthur to not be seeing Infestors right now.
Yeah, the thing is, like,
be a little strange.
You don't need Roaches to tank for you if you've got 400 Broodlings on the field, which seems to be the case. You really need Colossus to iron out those Broodlings. And Arthur...
very good energy as well.
Arthur's got 44 Stalkers, Doom. He's got a lot of Stalkers, and he can reinforce even more. But he is just kind of kiting away from these Broodlings, and unfortunately in doing so, the Immortals are becoming less and less effective.
He's buying time. That's about all he can really do.
Well, that's the biggest...
Sticking back to a corner.
The largest disadvantage to this Broodlord army is the fact that they're slow, and the Stalkers can just simply outrun them, as they've been doing. But Tefel is responding to this by just creating a bunch of Hydralisks for Arthur to essentially run into.
Well, the weird thing for Arthur is he's only on 8 gates. He hadn't added on additional gateways at the 3rd base or anywhere else, Rifkin. So, I mean, he's just confined to strictly Stalker composition here. He's trying to make a couple of Colossus. He's got one in the main, or one in the natural.
I have to say, Tefel has been abusing the heck out of this dead space here. These Broodlords have been magnificently positioned to that they're not vulnerable to Blink Stalkers.
He hasn't even mined from his 4th base, too. He's just saying, Hydras are really good, dude. What are you going to do?
Yeah, all he needs is the gas, which he's been mining, well, I guess, whatever. From.
So weird to say.
Yeah. Now, the few Stalkers that seem to have made it into the base have been just slowly taking out the Overlords. But Tefel, he's got such a big army, he's got so much larva, he doesn't really care. And
drop that Clear Spire. I'd be cautious of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, is Arthur even... Okay, he is focusing this, so it is going to get focused down. Now the Broodlords again have found some more dead space to kind of abuse, and Arthur's stuck, supply blocked even.
And now breaking down those rocks, Tefel's got a good spread.
Oh,
and
the Crater
there
Spire.
are no sentries on the field for Arthur.
If Arthur, he's not focused firing into him, he's fighting off the Zerglings, he's fighting off the Queens. This Greater Spire is so close to dying.
Oh, it's gonna stay alive though. It's gonna live.
A couple Broodlords have been picked off though. Oh man, if only he didn't have the option to rebuild them, this would be looking so much better for Arthur, but Arthur is also handling this very well. He's really not losing much more than shield damage to these Broodlords, as the Broodlings are being taken out almost instantly. Nice blink forward. 3 Broodlords.
One by one. Gotta focus the Colossus on the Hydras though. They're moving in on the Broodlings and the Zerglings right now. And the Hydras are moving into position, Rifkin.
Another blink forward, he will get another. Oh no, just barely doesn't get. There we go. 2 more Broodlords go down, and with the Broodlords dying, Tefel's finding himself in a lot of trouble. Both players are somewhat even on supply though at this point, but the Colossus Doom are the big turning point. And that's gonna be it.